heard somebody threaten somebody else and says, "You're going to hear from my attorney." Fact is, though, the lawyer in blue jeans says most of us don't have attorneys, and that's today's question. It comes from Janet. She says, "I am in the process of being sued by a pool contractor for fees that I do not believe I owe. I have been served with a lawsuit in Superior Court. I do not know an attorney and don't know where to start. How do I find a good attorney, and what can I expect? Thank you." And not Janet, it's actually from Linda. So where are we here?
That's a mouthful, isn't it? How to find an attorney and what can I expect? And that's a difficult path. You know, the reality is that most people don't have lawyers on staff. I mean, you got to be a Romney or you got to be a big shot to have that. And that is a dilemma, because we have over 10,000 attorneys in San Diego County, and the reality is how do you find one? You're going to look in Craigslist? It's really difficult. And yes, attorneys are now allowed for many years now to advertise, but that's not necessarily the best way to find one. Reality-wise, there's two ways that I recommend. Number one, obviously, is referral. Somebody that is going to tell you, "I've used this person before. They communicate with me. They return my phone calls. They, you feel comfortable with them, and hopefully it's somewhat affordable." They're not cheap anymore with regard to hourly rates. The second part, so referrals are by far the best. Number two is really the San Diego Bar Association. If you call the San Diego Bar or go online, they have a referral service, and they have people who qualify for the areas involved, such as a breach of contract or whatever the lawsuit is in this lady's situation, and then you can get a consultation with them, and at least they passed the bar, so to speak, at least with some criteria that will work.
And I wonder about that, though. What is the criteria? How are they judging whether or not this is an attorney you should go to?
Well, you don't necessarily, this is how I feel, you don't necessarily look at their education or what school they went to. I don't think that's really important. You can go to Harvard and really know the philosophy of law, but not really know the practicality of it. So you want somebody that you're comfortable with, that does have an understanding of that area. A general practitioner is not somebody that I'd recommend you. Nowadays it's specialties. You got to do that. And as far as the expectation, it's going to cost some money. There's usually a retainer involved. That could be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. There's going to be an hourly rate anywhere from $250 to $500 an hour, and you just want to ask that attorney to make sure that they stay in communication with you, that they return your calls, that they actually provide you with itemization of billings, and try to get an idea of how far this is going to go. It might be better to settle the case. It depends. I don't know enough of the facts.
Gotcha. And you answered my question, which was that first question, and that is, keep in touch with me. Let me know what's going on.
That's so important. Number one.
Jeff, thank you so much.
Okay.
Well, if you have a question for Jeff, you can email him at lawyerinbluejeans@gmail.com.